and entertainment website like Netflix. You can watch brand new, original trucking shows and videos made just for us truckers, and you won't find it anywhere else. All of TransportationNation.com's trucking shows and videos are on demand, so you can watch whenever you want. All you have to do is sign up and start watching. Plus, it's free.
That's perfect. I'm going to go check out TransportationNation.com right now.
News, talk, evolve. KABC, Los Angeles, Orange County, a Cumulus station.
Talk Radio 790 KABC News, live and local at 11 o'clock. I'm Joe Myers. It was a tough World Series opener for the Dodgers tonight. The Boston Red Sox came out swinging, seizing every advantage in their ballpark to beat the Dodgers 8-4. Correspondent Andy Scholes was there.
5 of the Red Sox 8 runs in Game 1 came with 2 outs. They are just relentless. This postseason, they have been amazing with 2 outs. They've scored 32 runs with 2 outs during this postseason. It almost just seems like they are a team of destiny after winning 108 games during the regular season. And a good sign for them, 17 of the last 21 World Series champions have won Game 1.
Hurricane Wilma has made landfall on Mexico's Pacific coast. Meteorologist Pedram Javaheri says flash flooding will be a major concern as the Category 3 storm is expected to dump heavy rain on portions of the country.
We're talking about more than 7 to 10 months worth of rainfall in some of these regions coming down over the next 2 days. And all of that moisture has to end up somewhere, and it pushes off towards the north and eventually parks itself over the state of Texas, which has seen quite a bit of rainfall and significant flooding.
And more alleged victims of a former USC gynecologist are speaking up with new sexual misconduct allegations. KABC's James Rojas.
14 more women are now being represented by attorney Gloria Allred, who announced the third lawsuit filed against George Tyndall and the university.
We allege that it knew or should have known of Dr. Tyndall's alleged misconduct since 1990 or 1991.
Allred is now representing 50 clients with similar allegations. Tyndall is accused of sexually harassing and assaulting over 100 USC students during his 3 decades at the university. He denies any wrongdoing. James Rojas, KABC News.
KABC News time is 11:02 with dependable traffic when you need it most.
Got a couple of new accidents this time around. We have a problem in Pasadena, and it is a singular 210 westbound at Sierra Madre. The right lane of traffic blocked. The drive stopped from Rosemead Boulevard. Rosemead on-ramp to the westbound 210 closed as well. And also, we have a major problem right now in Simi Valley on the 118 westbound before Cooner Drive. The 2 right lanes of traffic are blocked, and this is backing up the drive from Porter Ranch Road. And also, watch for slow traffic in Agora Hills. It's a SIG alert for the 101 northbound at Liberty Canyon Road. The 3 left lanes of traffic are blocked here. You're backed up to Mulholland Valley Circle Drive. It's a very slow backup. You're talking about under 10 miles per hour. Westbound 10 at Baldwin Avenue. We had an incident with a vehicle that ran into the right shoulder wall. It's catching fire, so we just got a report of that. 10 east at the 57. We've got an incident there just in front of a construction area, so be on the lookout for that traffic hazard. In Palmdale, the 14 Antelope Valley Freeway, southbound 14 before Avenue S. Right lane of traffic shut down because of a wreck. And we do have a problem in Cerritos now, 91 east at the 605. There is a crash taking out the right lane of traffic. And also in Grand Terrace, we have a SIG alert, 215 north before La Cadena Drive. 3 right lanes blocked. There's a multi-car wreck. It's going to back you up from Columbia Avenue, so traffic squeezing through the carpool lane. This was a 6-car pileup. KABC has dependable traffic when you need it most. I'm Cindy Berkey, Talk Radio 790, KABC.
Behind the Mic, furnished by Dalius Media.
This is Behind the Mic with Brad Dalius.
Behind the Mic is live on Talk Radio 790 KABC. Brad Dalius along with Keith Jackson coming to you on this Tuesday night, October 23rd, 2018. online at BTM with Brad. Follow us across social media. On Instagram, check out our link in the bio for our live online stream. As always, want to hear from you tonight at 1-800-222-5222. Call in at 1-800-222-5222. Game 1 of the World Series is now a wrap. Red Sox now lead the best of 7, 1-0 thanks to their 8-4 win over the Dodgers tonight. We've got a whole bunch of reaction here in just a second. Last night, we didn't get into all that Lakers suspension stuff that occurred over the weekend on Saturday against Houston. We'll dive into that coming up later on today. Plus, we go around to the NFL, best and the worst from the NFL Week 7. What stood out to us, what was good, what was bad. We'll go through it all. Plus, another move made today in the NFL as the trade deadline starts to approach. The Saints acquired Eli Apple from the Giants in exchange for a draft pick in 2019. So we saw yesterday the Oakland Raiders starting to stockpile some draft picks for future drafts, and the same now can be said with the Giants here with shedding that Eli Apple contract. So a lot of NFL news to get into, not only on the field but off it as well. But we begin here at the top with what we all just witnessed in Boston tonight. 8-4, like I said, Dodgers fell. This was a really good competitive game for the first couple innings, Keith, and you really had both teams, both heavyweights, if you will, kind of exchanging blows back and forth. We mentioned how, especially you, Keith, the Dodgers got to survive those first 3 innings. You have to try and win it. And actually, I think it's more of like surviving, personally, when in this type of series, when you're facing a juggernaut offensively like the Red Sox. There's been so much depth about the Dodgers and how just up and down the roster, and they do have depth. But 1 through 9, make no mistake about it, the Red Sox have the better offense, which I think most of us kind of knew coming into this series, but it was really on full display tonight. And look, they did some good things today, but kind of like I thought Game 1 of the NLCS against Milwaukee when they lost that 6-5, they can take things out of this game that they did well offensively. They just have to correct a couple different things pitching-wise and defensively. That was the big thing today. Defensively, a couple uncharacteristic mistakes. Got to clean that up.
Yeah, I told you, the first 3 innings are important, which they did a great job in the first 3 innings, but I also said the last 3 innings. So the last 3 innings are very important. What you see happen in the 7th inning, boom, home run. But I think it's also, why would you take Baez out? Baez struck out. He struck out 2 people already. Then you take him out to bring in Hill to pitch because he's a better. He can throw. I guess the batter is better for him to throw against a left-handed hitter. And that just didn't make any sense. He just crushed the ball and went over the fence. Game over.
That was the big criticism of Roberts here after the game.
I was very upset about that, man.
It didn't make any sense to pull him out. Like you said, he had been pitching
He was
well.
rolling.
Yeah.
You got to let people roll. And I think that's I think as a time, you overcoach things, and you don't have to do that.
That's true. They can outsmart themselves. We've seen that all the time. And Pedro Baez has been a guy all year that when he's going well, things are going well.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't leave him in there.
Exactly.
Now, when it's bad, the writing is usually on the wall a mile away.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case tonight. He had some good stuff. Roberts pulls him out. And, look, obviously that's the big criticism right now. And he probably should have left him in. But, look, it's going to be magnified because there's hitters, once again, there's no time off. You know what I mean? There's no batters off as defensively if you're the Dodgers in this series. Every single batter is potent, is dangerous for the Red Sox. And, obviously, you get the pinch hit home run from Nunez. And the 3-run shot, obviously, obviously, it was over after that. There was no chance.
Yeah, it was no chance of getting back out there. But also, the errors, in the field, in the outfield, they couldn't get to the ball. You had a couple drop balls, and they capitalized on those things.
Yeah, and especially you're talking about the one earlier in the game with Freeze over at first base.
Yeah, they just couldn't get to the ball, man. And it was like they were just capitalizing on a lot of things that the Dodgers did, a lot of errors.
And that was the first batter of the game with Mookie Betts. And look, you can't give him a second life. That's really what it comes down to.
And they had their opportunities. They had the opportunities to win the game or go ahead. Not say win the game, but at least go ahead. And it could change a lot of momentum. They had a chance to have a momentum swing. So, look, the Dodgers did hit the ball. You can't hit the ball and go bases loaded. They had that like 3 times, and then they couldn't wheel them in. And, that just can't happen when you're in the World Series against a great team like the Red Sox. So hopefully they can correct those errors. And look, it's only game 1. This is a series, guys. It's not just one game is going to determine what's going to happen in this series. It's a series. It's a they call it a marathon. So So you just gotta, things change. So we'll see what happens.
One thing I didn't understand when Roberts put out the starting lineup today, why he had Brian Dozier lead off the game when actually in reality, I know a lot of people will say who are at Roberts' defense here, well, Sale, righty versus lefty, he was a lot better. He's just been devastating if you're a left-handed hitter trying to hit off of Sale. Right-handed hitters have had a better shot. So that's why you heard that stat today. I believe it was the first time in World Series history you had just all righties right down the lineup. Not including switch hitters, but all righties. And they did that because of, Sale. You were a little bit more likely to hit off of Sale right-handed. But it wasn't much, to be honest, actually. It was only like 170 compared to 180 this year, lefties versus righties hitting off of Chris Sale. So my point is, why not just keep the guys in there who've been playing well and hitting the ball well, like Muncy. He's had an unbelievable season, a Cinderella type of season. Why not just roll with what you have?
And Manny Machado, man, I'm gonna be honest
I was
with
impressed.
you.
Good game.
I've been impressed with him in the last couple of games. No matter I was kind of hard on him on the show. Well, I'm still going to be hard on him because of the simple fact that you're supposed to be a star and you just don't say those type of things he said that we talked about last week, and being a star and trying to be a leader of a team. But
yeah, there's no excuse for it.
There's no excuse for that. But look, man, he's playing his tail off. He's clearly, to me, if I had to say somebody was an MVP on the Dodgers right now in this series, I would have to say Manny Machado because he's making great plays. And so we just need more of that. And I think what it is also is, again, they also reverted to going back to the fences, Brad. You saw that. They were trying to swing for the fences. You saw some bunts every now and then, but I didn't understand. Like there was one play where they had they had two on. They had one on third. They had one on first, and then they decided they had one out, but not bunt. They didn't bunt the ball. They trying to do strikes out. He's trying to swing for the fences. I'm like, bunt the ball, make a sacrifice play. You get him the second. It's the little things,
time
man.
and time again.
Those are the type of things. Just make a play. And, they try to make plays down the stretch, but you saw it like they try to go and do that thing, the strategic baseball thing, and then they go and they're predictable. And you can't be predictable in the World Series. The Red Sox know exactly what the Dodgers are going to do soon when they get in there. They're too predictable.
Now, with that being said, I like the home run from Kemp today. We talked about last night who was going to DH in this game. Roberts puts in Matt Kemp. Great to see him get a home run. Essentially, he's done next to nothing the second half of the season. So to get him in there, maybe that gets him going a little bit. Maybe he can help to contribute to this team offensively, and they'll probably need it. I mean, because like I said, it's going to be all hands on deck.
Oh, they need everybody. They need everybody, man.
Let's go to the phones for the first time tonight and say hello to Solomon. He's in Lake Balboa. Solomon, you're on Behind the Mic.
Thanks, guys. I got one word for tonight. Ouch.
Rough start.
Man.
However you want to slice it. But if you think about it, it was not too far-fetched to think that this could happen tonight. You know what I mean? We had talked about, obviously, how deep this Red Sox team is, and a lot of things really had to break your way in order to win this game tonight, especially at the beginning of this series. So I hear where you're coming from, but, it is a long series. We're just getting going.
I understand, but I think, if the Dodgers didn't wake up, they better wake up because you're playing a juggernaut. And you brought up some points tonight. Against a team like this, you can't screw up. You can't miss scoring opportunities. You can't have defensive gaffes. You can't have a pitcher come in and throw a little, cheese on the first pitch, a gopher ball and blow the game open. He's done that twice now, by the way. He came in and first pitch, I think, was a home run for Alex Wood. It's a funny kind of pitcher. I kind of think he's soft until he gets pushed. And right now, Baez, he's nails, man. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. Why pull him? Sometimes you overthink it, man. He was going, and let him finish out that inning. He probably would have had a clean inning.
Hey,
but
man.
Anyway, that said, the Dodgers are going to have to play perfect baseball to beat this team.
Yeah, I agree with you, Solomon. They definitely have to play perfect baseball. But the other thing is they need all hands on deck, like Brad said in the beginning. And you can't be predictable. Everybody knows they're predictable and what they're doing. They got to switch it up a little bit if they want to win this World Series because the Red Sox are just a complete team. So, hey, by the way, Solomon, I just want to say congratulations, man.
Did you listen to the show last night?
What happened now?
Did you listen to the show last night, Solomon, by chance?
I think I did. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Well, Brad, tell him what he won.
So, Solomon, you are our official winner for our Lakers promotion. Basically, you called into our show the most here over the past month. And
I know I've been a crazy person.
It's been great. We've appreciated the calls, everyone who calls into the show. Lots of support, obviously. But you're our official Lakers promotional winner, which means you get to come on out to the Lakers game if you're available this Thursday, October 25th, to become a part of our sweep party that night.
Oh, my God, man, that is incredible. I've been a Laker fan. You know, I'm a little older since the West Baylor days.
Nice.
So I am stoked. Thank you so much. That is so cool. I so appreciate that.
Yes,
Thank you.
Solomon, we want to see you there, man. We feel like you're a part of this program right here. So we want to see you.
All right, man. Well, I'm family, so I'll get the details, I guess, from your screener, and then I'll.
Lori will take your information off the air, absolutely, and we'll definitely be in touch to you real soon here. So, thanks, Solomon. As always, we appreciate the call, and hopefully, we see you out here later this week.
Very, very cool. Thank you so much. I'll be there.
Thanks, Solomon. Have a good night.
Sure, you got it, man.
1-800-222-5222. He's like, yeah, I think I was listening last night. So there you go. Always got to stay tuned and plugged into this program because it's just kind of the start of doing exciting things. This is the start of something. Like this.
We have some good things coming, man. You guys, make sure you tune in every night.
So there you go. And Solomon's obviously a little upset what happened tonight in Game 1 of the World Series.
I think we all are.
Yeah, and again, I'm not shocked. I'm really not because, they drew first blood. Now you have to bounce back.
Exactly.
I thought the Dodgers did a good job of weathering the storm the first couple innings.
Yeah.
I was like, they're playing this great, and I thought they had an excellent, especially when they're able to get through Sale, because there was question marks with Sale coming into this game, whether or not he would be able to actually come back from that stomach illness that affected him in the ALCS, and we haven't seen him for a little bit. So he comes in tonight, does a good job, but the Dodgers were able to hang with him a little bit there. And again, maybe a silver lining a little bit for what to come, hanging with these Boston starters in this series. Behind the mic, we're just getting going here tonight on KABC Radio. On the other side, more World Series Game 1 reaction, plus we'll get into some Lakers news and NFL news to come as well. Back in a flash.
Credit products are made by WebBank. Rates and terms vary based on credit history. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
How did I get into credit card debt? A trip to the emergency room.
Car repairs.
Moving expenses.
There's a million ways to get into credit card debt, but one sure way to start getting out: Avant. Avant offers access to online unsecured loans from $2,000 to $35,000 at competitive rates and no extra charges for paying back early. Over 500,000 customers have experienced the convenience of a loan through Avant. No wonder Avant has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. The application takes minutes, and if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time Monday through Friday, funds are deposited as soon as the next business day. And now Avant will also give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after your first payment is made on time. To check your loan options and to get this special radio offer, go to Avant.com today and enter promo code 1010 when applying. That's AVANT.com, promo code 1010. Avant.com, code 1010.
Credit products are made by WebBank. Rates and terms vary based on credit history. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
How did I get into credit card debt? A trip to the emergency room.
Car repairs.
Moving expenses.
There's a million ways to get into credit card debt, but one sure way to start getting out: Avant. Avant offers access to online unsecured loans from $2,000 to $35,000 at competitive rates and no extra charges for paying back early. Over 500,000 customers have experienced the convenience of a loan through Avant. No wonder Avant has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. The application takes minutes, and if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time Monday through Friday, funds are deposited as soon as the next business day. And now Avant will also give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after your first payment is made on time. To check your loan options and to get this special radio offer, go to Avant.com today and enter promo code 1010 when applying. That's AVANT.com, promo code 1010. Avant.com, code 1010.
Jim Gaffigan, the Quality Time Tour.
Have you been to one of the weddings where the groom removes the garter belt from the bride and flings it to a crowd of perverts? What came up with that one?
Hey, you know the bride throws the bouquet? How about something for the fellas? Maybe the bride's underwear?
Jim Gaffigan, May 19th at Terrace Theater. Buy your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Experience Dell Cinema technology on the Dell XPS 13, the laptop for people who never say no to one more episode.
Hi there. I'm calling about my dinner reservation at 7. Yeah, I'm not going to make that.
With lifelike color, brilliant sound clarity, and uninterrupted streaming, Dell Cinema technology on the Dell XPS 13 with an 8th Gen Intel Core i7 processor makes whatever you love to watch even better. To learn more, call 800-BY-DELL. That's 800-BY-DELL.
You're listening to Behind the Mic with Brad Dalius.
All right, welcome back Behind the Mic live here on KABC Radio. Brad and Keith breaking down Game 1 of the World Series. Once again, Dodgers fall 8-4 to the Red Sox. Game 2, we now turn the page tomorrow night. David Price takes the hill for Boston, and up into these playoffs, a lot of uncertainty as far as his career went in the postseason. Had not pitched well since he had been in the big leagues, but has somewhat turned that around here recently. Doesn't mean, though, that he's not prone to a bad outing here or there, and perhaps tomorrow night the Dodgers can take advantage of that. They'll throw Hyunjin Ryu out there, who, again, has stepped up for this team in a big way, especially down the stretch, and you expect him to give you quality innings tomorrow. But here's like we talked about, split. Same type of thing in the NLCS. Yeah. Hey, if you want to go back to last year's World Series, same thing Houston did. Houston lost Game 1, Dodgers took it, but then the Astros came back to take Game 2, and they got that split here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the Dodgers are able to win tomorrow night, I think serious pressure goes on the Red Sox to come out here to L.A. and to perform really well.
Yeah,
right off the
absolutely.
Because I think everyone expects the Dodgers to play well at home because they have historically, recently here in the playoffs at least.
Yeah, they definitely have. But, yeah, this is right now I think, honestly, I feel that the pressure right now is on the Dodgers because they got to win this next one.
It is for the next 24 hours or so.
Yes, yeah. It is. They do have to win this next game. They don't want to go 0-2 going back home because then you give them the Red Sox a lot of confidence going back to L.A. and saying, yo, all we got to do is take one. You know, they got 3 games at the Dodgers in L.A., and they just say, we just need one.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, you know, I think the pressure really is on the Dodgers, really just to key in and focus on tomorrow. And if they can get it done, then yes, I think that momentum has shifted. And I think now you're in a situation where the Dodgers can either possibly take a lead going home, or again, look, it doesn't matter if the Red Sox win that second game at your place, you still got 2 more games you're able to win at home. So, and I'll still like the Dodgers' chances in that case. But right now, Dodgers got to capitalize and review their film tonight, and hopefully not making those same mistakes that they did today. So hopefully they can get it done, man. I'm rooting for them, of course. I think we all are. So hopefully we can get it done.
It starts with, to me, you cannot let Mookie Betts get on base. Now, it's easier said than done, but you can't let him get on base to start the game. That's the biggest thing. It's a killer. And we talked about earlier the David Freese not kind of misjudging that foul ball along the first base line there. Again, it was a makeable play defensively. He lost, I guess, in the lights or something. Something went off. He just couldn't track it down. You have to take advantage of that. We talked about how back in the NLCS, it's these moments in a series. You're only probably going to get a handful or less than them, like true big moments that kind of define a game and really the difference between winning and losing the game. And perhaps that was one of them right there. You know what I mean? It's just, again, it's the little things like we've talked about so much. But Mookie Betts, you can't let him on base. And how about this Benintendi, the left fielder? This is a guy who hit a monster game tonight, Keith. He had 4 hits.
Yeah, he did.
4 hits. And he's a guy who's been red hot for them recently, both with his glove in the outfield and at the plate as well. I think you have to keep him in check as well. It's those first 2 guys, and it's 1 and 2 there at the beginning of that Red Sox lineup. You have to take care of those guys. And J.D. Martinez in the middle there as well, very quietly, a big night for him as well. So offensively, the Red Sox did their thing as a whole. Now, the Dodgers offensively, like I talked about before, I thought they really got off to a good start in this game for the most part. We talked about how we were all impressed with Manny Machado today, driving in 3 runs. It's exactly what you want to see him do. putting the bat on the ball. I'll tell you what, you could say a lot of things about Manny Machado at this point, and we have, and rightfully so, but this is a guy who is not afraid of the moment. The moment is not too big for him at all. He embraces it.
He's a rising star in this league. I mean, he's a shortstop, and he is a rising star in this league. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but, you know, he's getting to the verge of becoming maybe like a Derek Jeter. And I'm saying like a Derek Jeter, not Derek Jeter, but like a Derek Jeter. He's a rising star in this league. I think he's just young, and of course he has to. There's some things he has to really focus on, and there's some days, you know, he likes to take. You can see there's sometimes he likes to take plays off, and that's part of being young and in the league right now. But
yeah,
I think
Puig likes to take plays off still,
and he's the same way. Puig is the exact same way. But those are rising stars, and look, he, like you said, he's seizing the moment, and he's taking advantage of it. And so if I had one person to say on the Dodgers who's the MVP of the Dodgers right now, it would have to be Manny Machado.
Big night for him. Justin Turner, big night for him as well. I thought he hit the ball really good. A bunch of singles tonight, put the ball in play for them, and they'll just need to continue that. That's the biggest thing. I think you got to figure probably at least 5-6 runs every game of the series to have a realistic shot to keep up with this offense. I think that's the number you got to shoot for.
Defensively, I think you can't play defense. I think they can hold them to like they did today for the first 3 innings, first 3 or 4 innings.
But I think eliminate the home run there later in the game.
They also got to manage the pitching mound a little bit better. You can't pull out Baez when he's rolling. You got to let people go. You can't leave certain players in long. I thought, personally, they let Kershaw in a little bit too long than he should have been there.
Look, it wasn't his night. Clearly. I mean, he got rocked for runs in the first 3 innings. He didn't have his stuff. Roberts talked about this in the press conference, and he felt he just didn't have his command tonight. And, I mean, even like his slider didn't have the depth on it usually does. Just didn't have his complete arsenal of pitches, and it's going to happen. I know Kershaw gets a lot of criticism nationally because he has, at times in his postseason career, he hasn't had the best of outings on the brightest of stages. Some of those numbers are kind of skewed a bit because of either he hasn't gotten the run support in some of those games, or it's just been one thing or the other. So it's not always a fair lens to look through. But obviously tonight he just did not have it when they probably – it would have been nice, obviously, to get a clean start out of him. But again, it's a lot to ask for because of how potent this Red Sox lineup is. I mean, 108 games is definitely not a joke from what they were able to do. So it's not something like it's just a fluke tonight in Game 1. You know what I mean? I don't think if anyone realistically thinks that, it's just they're totally being naive. Because it's like I said, it's going to take probably 5-6 runs consistently each game here in order to keep up with them. But I think they can do it. Again, it's just going to come down to you got to continue to get the hits from your big guns in the lineup, Machado, Turner. Freese had a couple of hits tonight. That's good to see him swing a bat because he's a guy, obviously, postseason experience. If he ever comes up in the clutch, you got to feel good. I mean, that's why they brought him to the team. So he's a guy who you continue to like to see doing that. And, you know, Bellinger comes in tonight, and, it's feast or famine with Cody a lot. It has been recently. But it's potentially you got a home run in your back pocket with him sometimes. So, again, all of this, they're going to need to continue to do it consistently because 1 through 9, Red Sox is not slowing down.
No, that's not going to slow down. It's not going to slow down at all. And, look, the Red Sox are on a mission right now. They can see the light at the end of the tunnel right now. They're smelling it. So you got to really put it to them tomorrow. If you want a chance, if you're going to have a chance in this series, they got to win tomorrow. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah, I hate to say must win.
It's a must win, Brad. You know why? Let me tell you it's a must win because look, they got 3 games. They got 3 games in LA, and I cannot see the Dodgers winning all 3 games in LA against a Boston Red Sox team who's the best team in the league and who can win on the road and win in any type of environment. There's no way they're going to win 3 games in LA. They have to win tomorrow because when you go into LA, look, that's going to be their momentum. It's a momentum shifting. That's to me. It's a momentum shifting going into LA. Like the Los Angeles Dodgers want to have the momentum going home, not giving the momentum to the Red Sox going to L.A. because the Red Sox, all they got to do is win one game.
Yeah, it's a huge swing.
Yeah, it's a huge swing. So they have to. It is a must win. This is a crucial game for them tomorrow.
Hyunjin Ryu toes the rubber. He goes against David Price. Again, it's definitely an opportunity to come out tomorrow, and you can potentially see him do it. I mean, look, David Price, like I said before, just because he's had some success this postseason doesn't mean that the struggles he's had prior to this can't come on right back. So we'll see how tomorrow plays out. It's Behind the Mic. We're live here on KABC Radio. Coming up, we're going to dive into that Lakers suspension news from Saturday night. We'll also go around the NFL, break down all of Week 7, the best and the worst. All of that coming up. Keep it tuned right here to 790 AM.
Talk Radio 790 KABC News, live and local 1130. I'm Joe Myers. A World War II-era plane crash-landed on the Ventura Freeway in Agoura Hills today. The pilot managed to get out safely as the vintage aircraft caught fire in the center divider area. The crash was reported about 1:45 p.m. near Liberty Canyon Road. It shut down both sides of the freeway, creating a miles-long traffic backup. LAPD says Assistant Chief Jorge Villegas plans to retire. The 29-year LAPD veteran heads up the Office of Administrative Services. And the California Lottery says there are no Mega Millions jackpot winners in California, but 8 tickets sold in San Luis Obispo, Stockton, Rancho Cucamonga, San Diego, Chatsworth, Arcadia, Norwalk, and San Francisco matched 5 of 6 numbers to win a still undetermined amount of prize money. KABC News Time is 11:31 with dependable traffic when you need it most.
Well, we have pretty good speeds on most of the freeways, but we have this ongoing SIG alert in Pasadena, the 210 westbound at Sierra Madre, San Gabriel Boulevard. It's an overturned vehicle, and it's got the right lane blocked. And this is stopping the drive from Rosemead Boulevard. Rosemead on-ramp to the westbound 210 is closed as well. And we have the SIG alert in Palmdale, where a big rig went over the side of the Antelope Valley Freeway, 14 South before Avenue S. They have the right lane of traffic shut down because of that crash. Traffic hazard, 405 southbound near Vermont. There's debris, possibly a tire on the freeway, so you definitely want to watch for that. That's the 405 south at Vermont Avenue. 105 eastbound at Central, we've got a solo car wreck, and the 2 right lanes of traffic are blocked there. And also 101 west at Balboa, we've got an incident there on the off-ramp. And otherwise, freeway speeds are good right now. KABC has dependable traffic when you need it most. I'm Cindy Berkey, Talk Radio 790, KABC.
Are you prepared for the upcoming season? Get immune support you can really count on. Quantum Nutrition Labs has 3 key players for optimal immune support on special. Garlic Complex with its high, concentrated amounts of allicin. Immune support featuring ultra-quality olive leaf extract and all-natural plant-sourced vitamin C. Buy 2 bottles, get the 3rd one free. Call 888-588-7578. That's 888-588-7578. Or visit us online at qnlabs.com. That's QNLABS.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD, host of Healthline. Tune in to get your questions answered and hear the latest breakthrough information for you and your family. Our product line, Quantum Nutrition Labs, delivers what others only promise, nutrition that really works.
Open enrollment for health insurance is here and the deadline is only weeks away. You already know there's a healthcare crisis. Rates have exploded, insurance carriers are leaving, unexpected medical bills and deductibles are at an all-time high, and it's only getting worse. But we have great news. There have been significant changes to the healthcare law. Under the new rules, you may qualify to get better coverage, better benefits, the freedom to go to any medical provider you want, and save thousands on your healthcare starting today. Licensed advisors are standing by to take your call, but you must act now. Call us at 800-240-7010. And we'll listen to your needs, explain your options, and get you into the perfect plan. Even if you're short on time, call and let's schedule a time to speak at your convenience. Call buyhealthinsurance.com at 800-240-7010. Your family's health is our #1 priority. That number once again is 800-240-7010. Call now. 800-240-7010.
This is Behind the Mic with Brad Dalius.
You know I said that I am better now, better now. I only say that cause you're not around, not around. You know I never let you down. Would've gave you anything, would've gave you everything. Oh, I did not believe that it would end. No.
11:34. We move it along here on a Tuesday night. Brad and Keith taking you up to the top of the hour on KABC Radio, 1-800-222-5222. We're going to get into that Lakers suspension stuff now in just a second and what all went down Saturday night between Rajon Rondo and Chris Paul. But first, though, Keith, you got a new book today.
Yeah, man.
And it's a Kobe book.
Yeah, it actually
pretty
is.
Cool.
It's called the Kobe Bryant Mamba Mentality, How I Play. And, man, it's a great book. I actually been reading it in between our segment and our breaks here. But
it's good.
It's a great book. All you Laker fans or all you just basketball guru fans out there, go get this book, man. It's a really great book, and it talks about pretty much everything that went on in his career. And you know, I saw a little part of it here that he had said that Luke Walton was destined. He always knew Luke Walton was destined to be a coach. So I was going to dive into that. So I haven't really dived deep into the book. It was released today, and you can go to Amazon. You can go to, I'm pretty sure, Barnes & Nobles. I'm pretty sure you can go to a lot of places to go get this book. So I was very happy that I received this book from my mom. So thanks, Mom. But go get this book, man, and check it out, man. Kobe Bryant. He's a legend, a huge Laker legend, and I'm sure all the players on the team have this book. I'm sure he gave it to them, and if he hasn't, they don't, they should definitely go get a copy.
That's awesome. Cool cover, by the way.
Nice
looking book.
It is an awesome cover. Look at it. Yellow and black is pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot, man. I love it. And then the back, check it out here. You know, you got some pictures of the Kobe Bryant dunking and all that stuff. It's pretty
through the years.
Yes, it is. It is. So go check it out, guys. Make sure you go get a copy of the book.
Yeah, that's what it's about right there. I read Phil. Do you read Phil Jackson's book about
I've
10 years ago or so?
Yeah.
When he came out with that. That was cool. A lot of insights into that. And, yeah, I mean, just so many great stories. I mean, when you think you know everything about the Lakers, especially the three-peat from the early 2000s, and then when they won back-to-back in 09 and 10, when you think you know everything, you learn something new.
Yeah.
There's so many stories about those teams and those championship teams, and just going through the successes and the ups and the downs and some of the NBA final losses in between there to Detroit and Boston. And, yeah, it just is really amazing. I mean, it's really, really amazing how many really just playoff series and games that Kobe was a part of being a Laker throughout. So, yeah, sounds like a good book overall.
It does. And, you know, I just love the fact that players in the NBA, some of these retired guys who come back, they're doing other things outside of what
outside of basketball
yeah. And what they were gifted for. You know, it's just interesting to me to see, you know, for Kobe Bryant, for him, like he wins an Emmy Award. He does storytelling. He coaches his daughter who plays ball, and, you know, writing books and things like of that nature. He didn't really just go into sports analysts. He didn't want to do that. And it's really awesome to see, like, the things that he's doing. And there's a lot of stuff that he's doing that people don't know, you know, what he does for, like, the communities and things like that. A lot of people don't know that stuff, and he does. And so it's great to see that he's doing things that's not basketball related, other things that he was interested in, and actually having some success doing it, especially in, like, the storytelling side of things. And so, man, it's just awesome to see. You got to definitely, I see why a lot of people, a lot of players and things take his advice, and you know, he's a role model to a lot of people out there. So it's great to see that.
Let's get into the Lakers suspensions that got handed down. And Rajon Rondo, Keith, doubling down today, saying that he did not spit in Chris Paul's face. Calls him a horrible teammate. A lot of, you know, obviously a lot of bad blood between the two of them there. And this was wild Saturday night because this game, there was not a whole lot of drama really in this game besides it's LeBron's debut, which, by the way, could ESPN have promoted that a little bit more maybe throughout the day on ESPN?
Really?
I missed, I missed all of the LeBron logos in the corner.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you didn't know about the game, I mean, and you were watching the stuff all day long, you know, shame on you because they promoted it until the cows came home. But it was pretty a non-eventful game until about 4 minutes to go in regulation when all this went down underneath the bucket. And tempers flared, obviously. To me, the biggest idiot in this was Brandon Ingram coming in.
Yeah, it definitely
throwing
was.
the sucker punch.
It definitely was. You know, we had we had broke on our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Behind the Mic show. We had said that we spoke to a rep of Rajon, and he had basically told us that, you know, if he did spit on him, it was inadvertently. He had his mouthpiece in his mouth the whole time.
Which can happen.
It can happen, and it does. And that, you know, it was unexpected. Like, he turned his head, and then they came out, and I think Chris Paul felt spit on him, and he went after him. And so, you know, I'm not going to get all the way fooling what he said, but pretty much he had said that it was inadvertently that he spit on him, if he did spit on him, but he did not just sit up and spit at Rajon. At Chris Paul. He did not do that, and he would never do something like that. That's not in Rajon Rondo's character. So, look, you know, I don't know the insides and outs in terms of their relationship. We know that they don't like each other, and they haven't. It's been reported from many of players, including Chris Paul Paul Pierce has said something about it as well. And so it's, you know, it was crazy to see that. But yes, Brandon Ingram, you know, look, Brandon Ingram ain't saying 2 words in his whole career, right? But he sure let it know that he was upset about what happened. And
his punch was worth 1,000 words.
It was worth 1,000 words. But you know what? His frustration, though, I get why. Because James Harden, man, I'm sorry. James Harden goes in and he leans in, he does all these antics, and he gets the foul call
all the time.
And, you know, if you watch that game, and I watched that game, Brandon Ingram was going to the basket. He was getting fouled hard by James Harden. They weren't calling it. And it was getting frustrating. And he does those type of things.
He does. And to be fair, though, I mean, LeBron is usually the beneficiary of a lot of calls that don't go against him in games, too.
Yeah.
So to be fair about it, but
so
it's true.
I guess it's frustrating for him to see that and how the refs are calling the game. And I think the refs can do a better job in terms of, so these things don't happen, tighten it up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, they definitely can.
Especially with those type of calls, like things that James does. And, you know, even LeBron, when LeBron does those type of things, it really frustrates players. But the bottom line is you can't get out of character and go in and sucker punch a guy. You know, this guy, what's weird about it, Brad, he's the president of the Players Basketball Association.
That is crazy.
Chris Paul is.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's just like, wow, you're fighting your brother, really. You know what I mean? This is the guy who defends you when there's things that go on that I feel that are not right. That's going on in the league. He's the guy that comes and defends everyone.
Well, I think most people think that, obviously, Ingram was defending his teammate in Rondo.
Yeah, and they definitely were. And, I mean, that's rightfully so. And also, I just want to, on a side note, this little BS is going on saying, well, LeBron James held back Chris Paul and not his own teammate. Let's get something straight here. First off, Chris Paul and LeBron are great friends. And also, Chris Paul is also LeBron James's son's godparent. You know, that's his god. They're the godfather. So that's number one. Number two is that LeBron James was just breaking up a fight, just like Carmelo Anthony was holding Brandon Ingram back. Nobody's talking about Carmelo Anthony holding Brandon Ingram back. So that my thing is that's ludicrous. You cannot go out and start saying stuff that, oh, he's not defending. It was just
the LeBron naysayers.
Yeah, to me, it's just like, look, they were just breaking up a fight, and that's what it was about. And so before it escalated and got even worse, because it got pretty bad.
It did.
So
I can't remember that big of a scuffle at the beginning of a season. It's been a long time.
Since the Palace.
Yeah, which is crazy to compare anything to that because that's the worst of all time.
Side note. Guess what else, though? Just a side note.
Yeah.
Look this up, guys. What was the last fight Rockets and Lakers had that was something similar like that? Rudy Tomjanovich. When he got knocked out one of the Lakers players and had his face rearranged. The Lakers
Rudy
and
T. How can we forget about that one?
And Rudy T and
who was the Lakers
I forgot
player?
The Lakers player. I'll tell you after we get to the break.
It didn't end very well.
I'll tell you after we get to the break. I know his name. He's on the top of my tongue, but I remember that. But that was the last time they got in the fight. How ironic is that? You know? And that was like crazy. In the 70s. It was like in the 70s. I bet you Mike knows our audio guy.
We'll definitely look it up because I do remember that one. It's been a little bit, obviously, since. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, this sparks really flew. All of a sudden, it went from, like, 0 to 10 like that. And you're just like, what happened? You know what I mean? Like, it was just crazy how fast it just took off and tempers flared. But you're going to have that. Look, it was a competitive game, back and forth. And as we can see, this Lakers team is starting to elevate their game. Look, they're a whole lot more competitive against some of these top teams, especially in the West, than they were last year.
Here's the question, though. Is it fair to say that Chris Paul is it deserving to say he gets 2 games, Rajon gets 3, and Brandon Ingram gets 4? That's the question.
I think it's fair because he threw a punch
But Chris Paul, to me, Chris Paul actually put his hand in Rajon's face and pushed and physical. And then the punch got off.
He should have done that. He poked him in the eye. But the Ingram thing, it was almost like he came in and you had Paul on the receiving end in somewhat of like a defenseless position, if you will.
Yeah.
I guess if that makes sense. That's the only reason why they gave more. Because I really didn't have a problem with it. Actually, if you ask Ingram, he thought it should have been more than that. He thought the suspension should have been more than that.
Yeah, he did. So, but I have to agree though. I think that Rajon and Chris Paul should have got equal in that case because he threw it. Even though Rajon connected on his punch, Chris Paul did put his hand in his face and connected there, and then he also had he hit him with the uppercut too. Everybody missed that. He hit him with the uppercut. It was open hand, but he got him. So,
by the way, it was Kermit Washington who was involved with the Rudy T tussle.
Yes. 1977s, yes. So, yes, I told you that's the last one.
Long history.
How ironic is that though? Like that's kind of crazy, right?
It's kind of crazy a little bit.
So that happened again. So, but man, is this a rivalry now? No, guys, I don't think it really is.
Lakers got to win some games.
Yeah, we got to win.
Rockets
Come on, you got to win this Thursday. Dang it! Come on, Lakers.
Yeah, it's definitely not a rivalry yet. They got to win some games.
Yeah, they got to get used to each other. But yeah, I don't think it was fair, man. I think that Rajon and Chris Paul should have got the same amount of time. But Brandon Ingram was well deserving 4 games. I mean, you can't sucker punch nobody, man.
I mean, like I said, a lot of people think that it should have been more. Maybe for all the guys.
I really thought it was going to be more.
The rumor that's kind of going around is that the league office didn't impose higher penalties because they wanted the Lakers to not get someone into too deep of a hole to start the season with LeBron there for the first time. That's a rumor floating around a little bit that they want to keep the Lakers a little bit more competitive.
LeBron does control the NBA, though. Let's say that. Let's don't go back to that. Game 5.
Can't forget that one.
We cannot forget that one.
No.
But with Draymond Green issue, but no, he does. I don't know. I don't know if it's all about that. I'll just say that, it was very entertaining to see and to watch. The people was definitely tuning into that. And what's crazy? I've talked to some former retired players, and they told me it was actually good for the NBA that something like that happened because back in their day when they played, when those type of things happened, it was more entertaining. So for viewers and things like that. But even though it happens,
for the NBA when we have guys throwing punches.
Well, they say it was good for the NBA because you don't see it. A lot of people feel the NBA has gotten soft, and so. With the hand check, they take away the hand checking. Remember, the guys that I'm talking to are like the old school guys that have been there.
The Bad Boy Pistons era. Clotheslining everybody.
Yeah, it's a little different from now.
I like it better. And I forget who mentioned this. It might have been during the broadcast. Who was calling the game? What was the game on? Lakers Rockets? ESPN, right?
Yeah. I believe it was. Was it Van Gundy?
Was Van Gundy was there?
Yeah.
I think it was Van Gundy who was saying that basically it's a lot better now that they've taken the violence out of the game from how it used to be 20, 30 years ago. I agree. If there's any sport, Keith, where you want it, it's maybe hockey.
Yeah.
Because people, come on, we know people pay tickets to see fights.
But really, hockey. Some of this stuff, like you blow on the guy, it's a foul. That's
a little ridiculous.
It is. And so I think that's why players look, I'm glad that kind of happened. Because you got to get a little bit more physical. This game's got to get a little more physical. Remember, this is something they compare the older guys to. Remember, back in the day, they said, can LeBron James last with the bad news Pistons and all those type of guys back then? Would this team, with the Golden State Warriors, be able to hang with the 93 Chicago Bulls and the physical play that they play? Could they beat the Lakers back then with the physical play they are? So that's where that comes into play. And
it's fun to play that game. It's so hard to compare different decades of teams apart like that. But it's fun to kind of throw it around a little bit.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? More on this after this. Keep it tuned right here to 790 AM.
Can I tell you how we came up with the name Rooter Hero Plumbing? Hello, I'm John Okoyan, owner of Rooter Hero. When I was a kid, I grew up with Superman, who stood for truth, justice, and the American way. Wow, what a motto. Superman was always on time and he never failed. And so I thought, if I'm going to start a plumbing company, I want to be like Superman. I want to be the one to save your day. If I have a superpower, it's that I keep my word. In fact, all our Rooter heroes have that superpower. So if we tell you we're going to do something, we're going to do it. Now here's our offer. Rooter Hero will cable your drain for $77, period. So call Rooter Hero at 866-DRAIN-77.
I'm so confident that you'll be satisfied with our services that I put my cell phone number on every business card. 866-DRAIN-77. That's 866-DRAIN-77.
Everybody needs a hero. RooterHero.com.
By the time that we got up there, his room was filled with smoke.
The wind had blown and drifted the snow up against the side of my house, blocking the exhaust from my furnace.
I heard the smoke alarm going off in my friend's apartment.
Without the kid's smoke alarm, my son would not be here today.
Had it not been for that carbon monoxide detector, they would come to school and not have their teacher there.
I grabbed my fire extinguisher and put out the fire.
Kidda makes technology that saves lives.
Get these essential products at your local retailer today.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
You're listening to Behind the Mic with Brad Dalius.
Maybe I might get a little nervous. Maybe I don't go out anymore. Feeling like I really don't deserve this. Life ain't nothing like it was before. Cause all I wanna do is just hold somebody. But no one ever wants to get to know somebody. If you go and look under the surface, maybe I'm a little insecure.
Great to have you with us. Moving along now and kind of breaking down what occurred week 7 here in the NFL, the best and the worst, what stood out to us. And right off the bat, Keith, I thought that the worst performance from what I saw this week had to have been what happened on Thursday night last week was the Arizona Cardinals getting absolutely demolished by the Broncos. I thought Arizona probably had the worst performance this weekend. I mean, they're just like brutal. Now you hear the news yesterday, like we talked about on last night's show, Patrick Peterson was out. It's gotten pretty bad there, and that's saying a lot, too, with the first-year head coach. It seemed like, actually, that Bruce Arians had that, even though they weren't very good under him last year, he had more of a better control of that team.
Yeah.
And it just seems like Steve Wilks, I mean, you see some of the shots from the sideline. I don't want to criticize him too much because he's still brand new there, but, man, it's just not working out so far. It's just not a good fit.
Yeah, it's not a good fit, and, I think they, honestly, to be honest with you, Brad, I think they lost the locker room when they made the quarterback change.
You think so?
Yes. I think you didn't give – I don't think they gave Bradford a long enough chance.
See, I don't think so.
I have to because he just signed with them. He brought him in. He's a veteran quarterback. He's been in the league for a long time. And those veteran guys respect him, and they want to see those type of things. They want to win, of course. But you bring somebody in who has he has a resume already built. You kind of want to give that guy a shot. And it was true with a new coach coming in the season this year, and he's only got a couple weeks, and so of reps in doing that. So I think that's where it happened. I think right then and there. I think they love Josh Rosen. I think he has the future of the team, but you got to give your veteran man a chance, and I think they just didn't give it to him, and I think that's where he lost respect, and I think that's why you got a lot of these players that want to leave. Patrick Peterson, for one, who's huge on veteran guys and things like that.
Oh, he is.
He is big on that,
and rightfully so. He's been to a bunch of Pro Bowls here,
yes.
But like you said about Bradford, been in the league a long time, big resume, and what's mostly on that resume? Up and down performances.
That's true.
He comes in and he started a couple games. I think they gave him a shot. You can tell they're not. Sam Bradford is what he is, and if anything, he's going to be more so on the decline going forward, not on the rise. So I didn't. Again, you weren't winning anything this year anyhow. The bottom has fallen out at this point. But again, you might as well put Josh Rosen in there like they've done and see what he can do. Obviously, it's going to be very difficult here at first from what we're seeing. They got a long way to go. I mean, that to me, they're kind of on the same level of maybe Oakland, where they're trying to just kind of redo that whole team. And, just kind of seeing what they have left with some of those guys. But I thought they had the worst performance this weekend. Now, other teams, too. Jacksonville, they continue to lose. And it's just Blake Bortles got benched. They put Cody Kessler in there. And it looks like Bortles is going to start this week, but he's going to be on somewhat of a short leash. I mean, Jacksonville has just fallen way off the map, and they don't even look like a team that could even, compete in the same park with the Kansas City or New England at this point.
Yeah, well, the defense is Jalen Ramsey. I like the way he had his post-interview, and he was trying to protect his quarterback but you can clearly read through the lines. He's like, look, the quarterback sucks. That's why we're losing. That's really what it is. It's
shocker,
putting a lot.
Right? I mean, shocker.
It's putting a lot of pressure on the defense, and the defense has to play a lot more than usual. It's on the field more than usual. So, and look, and the Leonard Fournette injury does hurt them as well. But man, the quarterback and his poor decision making. That's another reason why they're not doing well.
You and I have talked a lot about this off the air especially, and they just have not been the same since Leonard Fournette has gone down. They've gotten away from what made them really good and took them all the way to the AFC title game last year, running the ball through him, not asking Bortles to do too much. You can't have it both ways in the sense of, okay, we're going to give all this money to Blake Bortles, and we're also going to ask him now to do more for us and throw the ball farther. No. That's not what he does. That's not what he is. If that's really what you wanted, then you gave the contract to the wrong quarterback.
Yeah.
They should have made a bigger play for Eli Manning, or they should have maybe drafted somebody, because now you're married to the quarterback with the contract, and you're really kind of stuck because you're not going to get over the top with him. He's not good enough to do it. And now your defense is not even playing as well as they're capable of doing at this point. It looks bad. It looks like they just are totally out of sync right now, and it's a big surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely a big surprise, but hopefully they can get it back together. We'll see next week. They have another week. That's the good thing about it. They have another week, but hopefully it's something changes soon for them.
The Giants are now 1-6 after last night's loss to the Falcons on Monday Night Football, and Pat Shurmur just continues to kind of seem like he's a little perplexed with this team. Almost thinks that, like a lot of us, this team should be doing better because there's a lot of talent there.
It's the line, though.
But again, it's the line's awful. The line is totally terrible.
The line's awful, and I'm surprised Eli Manning is not injured yet or down. I don't think he's going to last the whole season.
At this point, it'd be really hard to imagine that.
Yeah, it's going to, their O-line's horrible. But also his decision-making is not as great as well. And, look, Odell Beckham played a decent game the other day, but it wasn't good enough. He's not a winner, man. I told you this many times, and I'm going to say it again on the air. This team is Saquon Barkley's team. It's not Eli Manning's team. It's not Odell Beckham's team. This is Saquon Barkley's team.
And I think that's part of the problem.
It's the only guy who has showed up every night.
It's true. And don't get me wrong, I'm one of the biggest Barkley fans. You know that. But I think you have somewhat of a problem when the face of your football team is the running back. Got to have a quarterback to win in this league.
Yeah.
Running backs are great, and he's going to get you far. But if you want to win in January and get ultimately to February, got to have the quarterback, unless you're not going to get there. Now, one thing they did do today is they shed that Eli Apple contract. They shipped him to the Saints. They accumulated a draft pick, which maybe they're taking a page out of Oakland's book at this point. Let's kind of compile draft picks, maybe kind of get things going in place for 2019 to draft some guys, and they're going to need those picks.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, the Eli Apple trade, I don't think that really helps the Saints or anything like that, because he was a problem over there at the Giants anyway. So I don't think that helps. But, yeah, I think that's a good move for the Giants. But I wanted to say this, Brad, before you leave. The also a big blow today is the Philadelphia Eagles losing Derek Barnett for the whole season. That's a huge blow.
Huge loss.
That's a huge loss for them.
What do you think about Peterson basically saying that it's us against the world now? No, we can kind of play loose and freely after blowing the lead to Carolina on Sunday. Just a little weird of a vibe there.
Kind of weird. Kind of weird. Kind of. I don't think that's a statement you want to say. I really think that's really got a lot of. I honest with you. Looked at social media sites and things about that. A lot of Eagle fans are upset with that statement. And rightfully so. You don't say anything like that, man. I don't know what type of message you're trying to send to them, but that's not a good message to send that we're going to play loose and free. No, it's get back on the road and get in the Super Bowl form. You guys are the defending champs. You got to start playing like it,
And real quick, the best of Week 7 probably was what? Kansas City?
Kansas City.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, they're playing well. They're a force to be reckoned with, man.
How about this? The Bengals should be banned from primetime until they can win a game in that spot.
Oh, yes.
Terrible.
Of course.
That's it. We're back tomorrow night behind the mic here live on KABC Radio. Until then, for Keith, I'm Brad. Keep living the dream.
Behind the Mic, furnished by Dalius Media.
KABC, Los Angeles, Orange County, a cumulus.
Cosby rejected. I'm Elliot Francis. Parts of the southern U.S. will feel the effects of what was Hurricane Willa. Meteorologist John Trout has the latest.
Life-threatening storm surge, wind, and rainfall hit parts of western Mexico as Hurricane Willa, a Category 3 storm, closed in. Wind speeds of 120 miles an hour. The system has been downgraded now to a tropical storm, and what was Hurricane Willa will move now quickly over Mexico into south-central Texas today, upwards of
Steve Kastenbaum explains.
The judge who sat on Bill Cosby's sexual assault trial said he